Welcome, loyal history viewers. Today we explore a broken chessboard in the Middle East. Tehran burns in 1979. A powerful monarch flees into the night, leaving his realm. Yet, just a decade earlier, this nation shared a secret alliance with an unlikely partner. Together, they transformed arid wastelands into green oases and built massive wealth behind closed doors. How did two ancient friends build a powerful bond, only to watch it shatter completely in a storm? The year is 1979. Thick black smoke aggressively chokes the once peaceful skies of Tehran. Angry protesters flood the grand avenues, tearing down the glorious symbols of a wealthy empire. For decades, the Shah ruled with absolute power, commanding profound respect across the Middle East. But time is truly cruel. The golden pieces on his royal chessboard are rapidly cracking. Let us rewind the clock. Before the fire, before the rage, there was a quiet era of deep trust. In the swinging 60s, Tehran was a vibrant beacon of rapid modern progress and bright hope. Lush chinar trees lined the peaceful boulevards, offering cool shade to completely unexpected guests. Israeli diplomats and brilliant engineers walked these friendly streets with absolute confidence. They were not official allies on paper, yet their secret bond was stronger than solid iron. The Shah needed advanced technology, while Israel desperately required a steady flow of oil. It was a brilliant marriage of convenience, carefully hidden from the watchful eyes of the world. Behind heavy mahogany doors, discreet meetings shaped the hidden destiny of the Middle East. They shared crucial intelligence, securing borders against common enemies lurking in the dark. Israeli experts brought revolutionary methods to conquer the unforgiving desert. Massive steel pipelines stretched across the barren sands, pumping lifeblood into a growing economy. Both nations flourished quietly. Their leaders toasted to a bright future with premium vintage wine. But history shows that secrets built on shifting desert sands can never truly withstand the test. Deep beneath the glamorous royal surface, a profound anger was quietly brewing among the poor. These rapid changes deeply alienated the highly conservative religious masses. A devastating cultural storm was slowly gathering, threatening to consume the entire kingdom. Moving into the 1970s, the unofficial alliance reached an unprecedented peak. Iran became Israel's most reliable and crucial supplier of energy during global crises. Tankers constantly crossed the seas, ensuring that the Israeli military machine kept running. In return, Israeli engineers introduced magical drip irrigation to the dry lands. Barren desert valleys miraculously blossomed, yielding incredibly rich, bountiful harvests. High commanders from both sides exchanged crucial defense strategies behind heavily guarded doors. The Shah purchased advanced weapons to modernize his rapidly expanding imperial armed forces. El Al flights regularly connected Tel Aviv and Tehran, carrying diplomats and businessmen. They built a shared intelligence network, effectively countering radical threats across the region. The partnership was highly pragmatic, driven purely by survival and mutual financial gain. Yet the Shah publicly maintained a completely neutral stance to appease his Arab neighbors.
We are taking immediate action to ensure
He walked a dangerous tightrope, balancing secret friendship with necessary public diplomacy. Yet this delicate geopolitical game could not last forever in a volatile region. The brutal secret police, Savak, violently crushed any internal political dissent. Thousands were imprisoned, fueling a deep hatred toward the glamorous royal family. Exiled clerics began spreading fierce revolutionary messages through smuggled cassette tapes. They heavily condemned the Shah's westernization and his unholy alliance with Israel. The undeniable wealth gap between the rich elite and poor peasants grew dangerously wide. As the late 70s approached, the brilliant facade of the Persian Empire began to crack. If you were a ruler, would you risk your throne to maintain a highly profitable secret bond? Protests erupted across major cities, echoing with furious chants for sudden regime change. The military responded with brutal force, turning the once peaceful avenues into war zones. The golden chess pieces of the royal court were hopelessly surrounded by an angry sea. The Israeli diplomats watched in absolute horror as their trusted foundation crumbled down. Desperate secret meetings were held in dark embassy rooms, but time was quickly running out. The Shah, suffering from a hidden illness, lost his iron grip on the collapsing nation. The once unshakable Persian monarch was now physically weak and utterly exhausted. Washington, his strong backer, hesitated to provide the decisive support he truly needed. The delicate alliance was entirely dependent on this single man's fading authority. As the clock ticked down to the very final hour, the shadow of revolution covered the land. January 1979. The brutal winter brought a chilling end to the empire. Millions of angry citizens marched relentlessly, demanding the complete overthrow of the Shah. The powerful military, once loyal, began to fracture under immense public pressure. Historical records show that over 2 million people flooded the capital's chaotic streets. The brilliant golden era was officially dead, buried beneath burning tires and loud gunfire. On a freezing January night, the defeated monarch walked toward his waiting private jet. He looked back one final time, deeply mourning the magnificent kingdom he was leaving behind. The roaring jet engine screamed loudly into the dark, carrying the exiled king into the unknown. His departure triggered an instant collapse of the secret geopolitical structure. Back in the Israeli embassy, panic consumed the once perfectly calm diplomats. They quickly realized that their trusted friends were gone, replaced by a fiercely hostile new regime. The rebel leader returned, instantly declaring a strict Islamic theocratic state. Hostile rhetoric violently echoed through every single street corner and radio station. The previously hidden embassy now stood completely exposed to a massive, furious mob. Dozens of Israelis remained trapped inside, coordinating a highly dangerous escape. The roaring sound of angry protesters outside grew increasingly louder with every minute. Time was running out. They frantically began feeding highly classified files into shredders. Fireplaces burned intensely as decades of secret intelligence turned into worthless, gray ash. The thick black smoke from burning paper blended tragically with the smoke of revolution. When strict ideology violently clashes with logic, Which side do you think will truly win? American officials desperately tried to negotiate a very safe extraction plan. The US Embassy, completely unaware of its own future doom, offered crucial assistance. Finally, a massive commercial plane was successfully chartered to rescue the trapped diplomats. Armed guards nervously escorted the frightened Israelis through the chaotic, angry streets. They finally reached the crowded airport, pushing through screaming mobs to reach the runway tarmac. The rescue flight accelerated down the dark runway, narrowly escaping disaster. As the wheels lifted off the cold ground, a profound era of cooperation officially died. Those who built the green agricultural miracles now looked down at a city consumed by fire. The pipelines that pumped endless prosperity were immediately seized by angry rebels. Rebel forces completely ransacked the abandoned embassy, tearing down the historic star. They proudly gifted the massive compound directly to the Palestinian leadership. This action perfectly cemented the absolute destruction of their once great alliance. The Shah eventually died in lonely exile, completely broken and truly defeated. The new Islamic government established itself as Israel's most dangerous archenemy. A deep, impenetrable wall of hostility replaced the highly profitable bridge of trade. The advanced desert irrigation systems slowly decayed without vital expert maintenance. The green oases that symbolized their secret friendship gradually turned back into dry sand. Decades of shared intelligence and mutual protection vanished instantly like smoke in the wind. The shadow of time swallowed the golden chess pieces, leaving nothing but bitter memories. The regional geopolitical landscape was redrawn with permanent lines of intense hate. Heavy doors of diplomacy slammed shut forever, echoing loudly through the halls of history. The rhythmic clacking of typewriters began producing aggressive manifestos of endless war. Two nations that once built incredible miracles were now locked in a deadly, endless struggle. Their untold story remains a powerful testament to the absolute fragility of power. In the dark room, an ancient copper hourglass quietly drops its final grains of bleeding sand. Books were rewritten to erase any memory of their former productive cooperation. New leaders aggressively wiped out all physical traces of the prior Israeli connection. Deep, hidden files were then destroyed to erase memory of their productive cooperation. People grew up believing these two countries had always been the most bitter regional enemies. But beneath the surface of this intense hatred, the undeniable truth of their past still remains. Historic records locked deeply within secret archives silently tell a much different story. They reveal how a powerful king and a young state worked together to survive a hostile world. Their tragic split perfectly illustrates the cold, calculating nature of global politics. Treaties written in secret are completely useless when the powerful winds of revolution blow. Strict ideology triumphed over shared benefits, destroying everything they had carefully built. Today, the Middle East continues to bleed from the deep wounds created by this historic fracture. The descendants of those who once shook hands now look at each other through the deadly sniper's scope. History is a constantly turning wheel, and absolutely nothing is set in stone forever. Will the future ever see a return to the quiet pragmatism that defined their golden era? Or will the deep scars of the past continue to dictate the violent rhythm of the present? The heavy shadows of the fallen monarchs and forgotten diplomats still haunt these ancient lands. As the last grain of sand falls, their incredible story fades silently into the dark abyss. The fall of this alliance reminds us that in global politics, friendships are extremely fragile. Was the Shah's secret alliance a brilliant strategy or a fatal mistake? Share your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel for more.